Hello there, everybody. If you'll notice, I am now very loud and clear because I've got my microphone set to the proper recording levels. If you remember last week, if you listened last week, Jerry said I was too loud, so we turned down my mic, and then I sound like I have no microphone and I'm just coming over the computer speaker or something. Anyway, the sound is not that great. You can hear me. You can definitely hear me, but it's that, tin can sound come like from afar, which I despise in a podcast. Absolutely despise it. I want the clear, crisp tones of a microphone. A microphone with recording levels set properly. Well, that's not this episode, unfortunately, for me. Again, you can hear me, but just not the best of sound, and I apologize on behalf of Jerry, and that will not happen again. He had the earphones on last time, and I don't know why I did that. I don't know why. Anyway, you know what? I'm not going to lay the blame on him. I shouldn't have just let him have them. Anyway, I'm rambling, just apologizing for the subpar sound of our usually exquisitely decadent sounding podcast. So enjoy the show. Next week will be better. Bye-bye.
You're listening to the Board Game Snobs podcast, a ridiculous podcast with ridiculous hosts that discuss ridiculous things. And any mention of board games is purely coincidental. And so, without further ado, and with a heavy dollop of shame and embarrassment on my part, I give you the Board Game Snobs.
Welcome to the Board Game Snobs podcast. This is Jerry.
This is Gabby.
And this is Enrique.
Star of the show, myself. We're just
very consistent, reliable host.
Co-star.
You're
something.
the sub-host.
Supposed to be a sub-host.
You're the sub-host.
Yeah,
with the
sub-host
mostest.
for something.
You are the mascot, I would say.
I've been telling you guys that this entire time, but you won't let me say it.
Well, we don't want to say that you're the mascot because then we might owe you some sort of royalties if the
thanks.
show ever gets popular. We
Hostess.
go Joe Rogan level, or what was what's her name, the Duchess of York? She's got the number one podcast.
Meghan
now.
Markle?
Yeah, she got number one now.
Really?
Yeah. So if we go that big, I don't want to owe you no royalties.
Why
So
not?
all we need to do is marry a royal.
Because I'm tight. We could be royals, said Nicki Minaj. I don't know pop culture. What's that song?
I can tell.
No, that was
Mary K. Blige.
we can be royals.
It's a very annoying.
Oh, God, I used to know her name.
Crap.
Not Beyonce.
No, it's not Beyonce.
Should never broke up with her.
It was.
Why? You didn't put a ring on it.
I didn't put a ring on it.
That's what you deserve.
I'm the Pete Davidson of podcasting, board game podcasting.
Oh, my God.
Oh, it's Lord. That's
Lord, oh, Lord. I should have remembered that.
Lord.
Yeah, it's Lord.
Lourde.
Lured?
And she came out with that album, and it was a smash hit. She came out with another album, subpar, hasn't been really... That would be tough to be a star like that. Like, to come out...
No.
Like, your first album just be like, everybody's loving it, it's a smash hit. Would you rather
I would rather.
be
Go
an
ahead.
artist that struggles? Let's say you put out 3 albums, and then your 4th album was a smash hit.
Okay.
Or would you rather put out an album, your first, like right out of the bam, first album, first song, smash hit,
Smash hit. Be done with it.
and then nothing else afterwards?
That's a lot of people. That's a lot of.
Yeah.
That's a lot of music. That's a lot of artists.
All you need to do is be a one-hit wonder.
One hit
and you're
wonder,
set for life.
and you're done. Well, I wouldn't say they're set for life. There's a lot of them that get messed up with them.
Well, I mean, if you don't get caught up in drugs and alcohol.
Well, no, they don't get set because they don't make a lot of money off those record deals.
But if you tour, not record deals. Nobody makes money off record deals because Spotify's
but
killed
like
that.
touring is hard though. I mean, it's not as profitable as one might think. It's hard.
But it's where all the money's at now.
I know. But I'm just saying. You
Like nobody's hearing. How How bizarre, how bizarre.
No,
That guy?
Oh, yeah.
I don't think he's making a whole lot of money these days.
No, I guess not. No, but still, yeah, you tour right off the bat. It did be just like an actor who shows up, is really going on for a little bit, and then they just turn him off.
Like the guy in Avatar and Terminator Salvation.
I don't even know who that is. I literally can picture his face. I don't know his name. Remember Josh Hartnett?
Yeah.
And then he quit.
Hollywood Homicide.
But he quit. That was the worst show ever. He quit. Like, he bowed out. He did the right thing. He was like, I ain't doing this anymore. And then, who's another actor that was like, well, you always... Sam Worthington.
Avatar, Wave the Water, coming out soon.
Oh, boy, I'm excited. Are you...
I am excited.
I bet. You like the Blue Man Group. You like the Avatar, Ricky?
I like the Na'vi.
What?
The Na'vi.
Oh, is that the blue people?
That's what they're called.
The Na'vi?
That's not out yet, is it?
Not yet, no.
Okay, I was like, hey, what are you guys talking
By
about?
the time this comes out, it may be out. I don't know.
It's not going to come out. Are you a Na'vi fan? Are you like Avatar?
Are you pro Na'vi or anti Na'vi?
Like, when Avatar, like, first came out, I loved it.
You were pro Na'vi.
He was all blue.
Yeah, but, like, I don't know how they're going to do the second one, to be honest.
In the water?
I feel
It's
like...
underwater.
It's all water based. The way. This is the way.
I have
This is the way.
I have a strong fear that it's going to be a flop.
Well, of course. But
Yeah,
this doesn't matter. Because now everything's CGI and they can flop and then
James
just keep
Cameron's a
making.
billionaire. He doesn't care.
He doesn't
at this
care.
point.
Yeah,
He
but-
went down to the bottom of the ocean just to look around. He had that much money.
With a little submarine. It's like,
He went to the bottom of the ocein to look at nothing and said, yep, nothing here.
There it is.
There it
Just
is.
making sure.
Making sure.
There's the Titanic. Should I raise it?
Nope. Ain't got time for that.
I ain't dirt pit.
There it goes. Goes on back up. That's how much money he has. He doesn't care. He likes this Avatar stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, that's James. He's always been a little, he's been a little crazy.
Speaking of actors, do you remember Brian Dennehy?
I do. I love Brian Dennehy.
Who doesn't like Brian Dennehy? Was like I thought about him the other day because I come across it was Tommy Boy.
Love
He was
Brian
Tommy Boy's
Dennehy.
dad.
You know who else liked him?
Who?
Michael Jackson. That's where he did his famous catchphrase. Hee hee. That was the callback to Dennehy.
Brian Dennehy.
Hee hee. Yeah, that was what Michael. That's what he was doing. You didn't know that? Do you like how I knocked that out of the park? That joke. I pulled that out of nowhere.
Cal Riffin Jr. There.
There you go.
Cocoon.
I never. You
He
know.
was in Cocoon.
I never watched Cocoon. I'm gonna say that right now. I'm
Oh,
ashamed.
my
I'm ashamed.
God.
And I love what's his name? The dude. The
Gutenberg.
Gutenberg. I love
The
Gutenberg. I love Goot. I love Goot. If you were in the 80s, you love Goot.
Cocoon. And nay, I say, part 2's even better.
I didn't watch any of them, but I will one of these
Those are
days.
80s.
Those are very 80s.
I don't know that I'd declare them classics.
I know, but they are
the
80s. They are 80s.
Like they're oh my god, they're so good.
I'm not even sure whether
I need to rewatch that.
About.
Now that I'm talking about. All I know is it had the boy from E.T. in it. There's these aliens, and basically they make these eggs and they put them in this water, and like these old people go swimming in that water, and it like keeps them young.
Ooh.
Like it's like the fountain of youth, but it's created by these alien eggs. But then I think the eggs hatch or something. It's really good.
We need to watch that.
Okay, I'm going off my
and we need to
9-year-old brain right now.
We need to record us watching that and do like one of those like Mystery Science Theater 3000.
I can't remember Cocoon. I remember Cocoon Part 2 because it like takes place in a nursing home, in like the swimming pool of the nursing home. It's all these
because
other people.
nursing homes have swimming
They're
pools.
all like flapping their old arm waves around, you know.
I'm gonna get in, Margaret. Oh, you drink your Geritol.
And they're like getting young because they're feeling like vibrant and young because they're
And
swimming in that pool.
Sensual, I suspect.
Sensuous.
I don't know about this. I don't know if I want to watch Cocoon 2, 3, or 4.
Cocoon 1 and 2. Watch them.
All right. Well, we'll watch them together.
Cocoon takes place in 1985.
Which watching movies with you is difficult because you cry. You cried during The Notebook.
The Notebook was freaking
You
emotional.
cry?
It was cliche.
It's very cliche.
I've known the ending of The Notebook since it came out. They die. He crawls into bed with her and he dies with her. They die in their sleep together as old people. I still bawled my eyes out. My wife and I were on our anniversary trip. Went to Dallas, had a nice pleasant evening, went out to eat, went home. My wife says, let's watch a romantic movie together. She says, I've never seen The Notebook. It's free on Tubi. Tubi's a fantastic channel.
It is
by the way.
good.
There are some ads, but still, everything's free. They got a bunch of good movies on there. We started it. She fell asleep. She had a couple of glasses of wine as we ate dinner, so she fell asleep after a couple of glasses of wine. The next morning we wake up. She says, let's finish the Notebook. I'm crying at the end of it. I look over at her. I'm like, are you crying too, babe? She's like, no, I'm okay. Like, oh, okay. I'm the emotional one in this family.
Yeah, you.
I'm the emotional one.
Yes.
Like every emotion courses through me.
Yep.
And my wife is very level-headed. She doesn't get moved by movies and music the way I do. I wouldn't say cold-hearted. I didn't say that.
No, you implied.
just not as
Connected.
maybe erratically emotional.
No, I think that certain things people allow experiences to hit them on a much deeper level. It's like you're primed for it anyways. It's like you're. I think one time here recently you were talking about a book, reading a book, something about something being frightening, and I said I've never read a book that's frightened
The
me.
Thing.
It's like every book I've read.
I was reading the adaptation
of The Thing
by Alan Dean Foster, and it scared me to death.
It doesn't scare me. I can read something that's horrifically. Everyone, this book's so frightening. Nothing ever scares me in a book. But
I cried reading The Martian.
I know.
When he blasted off the planet in the end, I was in tears.
I know. You cry. So what I'm saying is that there are certain types of entertainment, media, whatever, that some people are just primed to take on more emotionally. And I think some people just plateau there. Like, there are movies that affect me emotionally. And I mean,
what?
Like Days of Thunder. And,
Robin's racing. Is that what gets
no, it's just
Robin is racing.
it's just what it is, or I mean, they're just certain shows that you watch.
Far and away, all Tom Cruise movies.
All Tom Cruise movies hit me very hard for some reason.
Mission Impossible 3.
Yeah. Oh no, it's 2 with his hair. Every time they does that, what's that? That
John
slow
Woo
motion,
stuff?
yeah, the doves,
good stuff.
and that one that
doves
that
cry.
soundtrack that was going on at the time where everyone's
that
that
gladiator music.
he's swinging around, yeah.
That was a fantastic movie, but do not watch it in 120 hertz
No,
because it looks super fake.
and it's very fake. There's
And
a
I hate
lot.
that TVs just cut. We were watching The Notebook in the hotel. 120 hertz or whatever that motion, like super motion. It looked completely fake.
Yeah.
Soap opera effect. And I tried to go in to fix it, but you can't.
You gotta
and that's
tone
why
it down.
Tom Cruise and James Cameron are actively like advertising. Get that off these TVs.
Right.
And I don't understand it.
I don't know. Tom,
Like for a football game, sure, but
turn those hertz down.
turn those hertz down.
That's for gaming. The refresh rates and things of that
Yeah,
nature.
we
Yeah,
don't
you
need
got 60
that.
hertz. That's
We
all
don't
you
need
need.
that for
You don't need
movies.
that. You don't need that for a movie. Your
Only
eyes.
William Hertz.
R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Is he dead?
John Hurt.
I think
He's dead.
He's
Yes,
dead.
he did. He
He's
died
dead.
last year.
Him and Disney. They're both dead.
Didn't he? He's been gone for a long
He's
time.
been gone for a long time.
One of my favorite evil parts of his was
Silverado. Yes, he was the bad guy. He was a sheriff.
So good.
He's good. There's nothing to
If
laugh
you're
about.
if you're a youngster, Gen Zer, and you're unfamiliar with Brian Dennehy, watch Silverado.
With Kevin Kline
He's the Kevin Costner,
and Kevin Costner
Danny Glover, Jeff Goldblum,
and
the guy that Emmett.
yes.
Who's
What's his?
Emmett?
Oh no! Give me a second. Sorry, it's coming.
He's one of
The karate guy.
Yes.
Oh Lord, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. He's dead too, and it's gonna be bad because he's one I really like. Please don't say his name out loud because I want to find it in my deep recesses of my brain. But I can't spit it out. What's his name?
Scott Glenn.
Scott Glenn. Oh, dadgummit, the astronaut.
Scott Glenn.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's one of his best. Oh my God, Silverado is my number one. It's a close toss-up between Silverado and the original Magnificent Seven. I love those two movies. Silverado.
Tombstone. Once Upon a Time in the West.
Yeah, but see, Tombstone came out in a weird time. Like, I watched Silverado as a younger person and more impressionable. Tombstone came out when I was a teenager.
Right.
So it's like, for me, Silverado's more nostalgic.
It is very nostalgic.
But Tombstone is probably the superior movie, technically.
It is.
But
Bill Paxton.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good stuff.
Val
That's good
Kilmer.
stuff. I grew up on Westerns. Dad loved Westerns. I've seen every freaking the John Wayne.
You see, this is the type of banter that would fit in if we had played Western Legends and not a sci-fi game.
Great Western Trail.
So we started off with the sci-fi Cocoon stuff, which would have been great when we're talking about CRYO.
Oh, we should have went there.
We should have stayed with that. And I was
Speaking
trying.
of people that froze their heads like Walt Disney and Ted Williams.
Did he freeze? Ted Williams did that?
Yeah. You know who Ted Williams is?
He's not the news anchor, is he?
No.
Ted who's
Baseball star.
Oh, I don't care
From
about
like
that.
the 1940s.
No, I don't care about no Ted Williams.
Froze his head.
Disney froze his
They
head?
put it in a cryogenic chamber. Froze his head in the hopes that... Enrique has not said a word
Enrique,
the past 30 minutes.
Yeah.
would you freeze your head?
Or 13 minutes. That's what we've been
Why would I freeze my head?
That's
For
exactly.
what reason?
Freeze your head.
If you to try to live longer,
No, like
like
what?
you had a disease. Say you had a disease called infantile phalanges. You had small hands,
Infantile phalangitis.
and you had one infantile phalangitis, and you had the U-shaped kidneys. And they're like, this poor boy, we need to fix him, but we
he's a
don't.
sandwich.
We can rebuild him, and we don't have the technology. And they're like, we'll freeze him, and then maybe in a billion years from
We
now,
have the technology in the future to fix him.
they could freeze you, and then you could. What if they had the technology to freeze you and wake you up within like
We'd have to have Roscoe Pickletrain come here and say, freeze!
100 years, 200 years? Would you do it? Like they said, all right, we're going to wake you up in 400 years.
I might as well, right?
Wait, hold on. What if we said, Enrique,
Okay.
due to your infantile phalangitis,
You can't no longer
you may pass away in the next 40 years.
because phones
You
keep
won't-
getting bigger.
you
and you
won't-
can't hold
You
them.
can't hold them. You will not live until the year you won't see 40. However, we can freeze your head right now. Everyone you know will be gone.
We will not be here. Well, I might be
But
here
we will resurrect you with a new robot body,
because I'll be cloned.
and you'll have big fingers, but all your family will be gone. Which would you take? So you could live the next perhaps 20, 25 years, be with your friends and family, long enough for your parents to pass away.
Yeah.
Is that a plus? Is that a minus?
R.I.P. Mag. It's like just let him know.
I was like, no, I want to see them die.
He won't live for the next
So you
10
can live
years.
for the next 20 to 25 years with your friends and family.
Okay.
I.e. us.
Or they say, we're taking you away right now.
What would you
And
do?
we're going to resurrect you 300 years in the future. You're going to have a robot body you're going to basically be an arachnid, but your head's going to be on a robot body with 6 legs, but you have all your fingers.
Various sides.
And you'll live to be 100 and 200 years old. But you'll be in the future.
Answer this. Answer this
I
question
know, I
now.
know. Yeah, I guess I would.
I
take
knew it. I knew he'd do it. Here's what would happen. So it's like, okay, we're gonna open up your casket, your cryo casket in 300 years. All right. So they open it up. Here's Enrique all shriveled up. He's froze, and they
Bodies are raising except his head.
They thaw him out, and then he goes, okay, which Call of Duty are we on right now? Are we Call of Duty 34? What are we? What PlayStation do we have?
Modern Warfare
Oh
37.
my
And so
God.
he's going to get on and play that and Battlegrounds and PlayerUnknown or whatever they call it now. I think he's just going to play. And that's it. That's his life. For 200 years, he's going to be playing that and Call of Duty and just sit, and that's it. And they're going to be like, we spent billions to freeze this guy, thinking that we would have a time capsule. Out of all the people that we could have chosen,
We chose
this guy. And so the history will be lost. Because
Obviously.
what's going to happen, everything gets put up in the cloud. We're going to lose it. The cloud's going to rain one day. And nobody's going to remember anything from like the 90s back. And so all they're going to have is Enrique. And they're going to be like, you're like a historian. Tell us about what happened in your time. And everything he tells it will be categorically wrong. Like he'll forget and talk about things he saw on television and that are just wrong.
Like you see that dinosaur? That dinosaur has an axe.
Yes,
he wielded axes.
There was a time where we created dinosaurs again and they got loose on the park. And, there's stuff like that. That's what they'd have. He would mess up the human race is what I'm trying to say. That's why we
Hey, at least it would be fun.
That's why we should just let him go at the rate that he
You've
is.
disregarded your friends and family.
Yeah.
Just be resurrected to play video games.
Perhaps. Yes.
But really cool ones. Because it'd probably be VR. The Facebook Meta thing will be going on full blast by then.
They'll have perfected the Google Glass.
I'll never have to eat again.
You don't eat now.
Yeah, you're right. And I'm still
My
surviving
wife
somehow.
made a feast this afternoon for
Eggs.
brunch.
And I didn't even
And
drool over it.
Eggs.
sausage, biscuits.
I say it, I pronounce it eggs.
I know. I don't
Eggs.
care for that.
And then we had
Eggs.
sausages with jalapenos.
Pancakes, the Johnsonville brats with jalapeno cheddar, and they were freaking
That was
delicious.
nice.
Enrique had a teaspoonful of eggs to try for the first time, scrambled eggs.
Yes.
Eggs are
scrambled
kinda
eggs.
Have you ever
weird.
had scrambled eggs before?
No, I have not.
Enrique, okay, let this be known. Today's date is whatever this podcast comes out. Enrique, how old are you?
23?
You're not sure.
Yeah, no, it's 23.
Interesting. You're
no,
not
it's
sure of
23.
how old you are?
I
That's
forget
fascinating.
sometime. Okay.
In his mind, he's already cryogenically frozen.
What year is it?
What year is this? He's never had scrambled eggs before. Have you had any other type of egg?
No.
Okay, Enrique has never had an egg. He had a scrambled egg today for the first time in his life.
An
How did
egg-
you feel about it?
It was all right.
Eggs are weird because you're consuming the flesh of the unborn. It's an embryo.
Yeah, but we won't talk about that.
The embryonic fluid.
You're
of a
yeah.
chicken.
Chicken that came out its canal.
Hey, if it's edible, then no one's...
Well, there's a lot of stuff that's edible.
Anus, out of the anus of a chicken.
It's very weird.
Okay, quick question. Why do eggs that come out of natural
Orifices.
orifices covered in dung last longer
Because there's an enzyme. They coat their
than
enzyme.
eggs you get the store?
So the
And
store
you don't have to put
washes them off, and that enzyme prevents salmonella.
So if I just get an egg from a chicken out in the country,
Right.
I don't have to put it in the refrigerator.
Yeah, putting eggs in the refrigerator is a thing that only Americans do. Like in other places, the eggs are just they don't. Yeah, Britain,
But we get all of our eggs from like Pilgrims and Tyson.
right? But which are here in America, which we have. They make them wash them.
So they wash the dung.
Yes,
Is it the dung that protects them?
It's the enzyme there's something with an enzyme that's on there, and I don't exactly know what part of the bacteria it's from or whatever, but that protects it from getting
so
salmonella.
somehow chicken dung preserves things that you don't have to put in the refrigerator.
No, I see where you're going with this, so I'm going to stop you. I know what you're trying to do here. I'm going to stop you right now. I'm going to stop you right now
Okay.
because that's not right. All right, you're wanting to go there. I'm telling you,
checking.
don't go there.
I'm just chicken.
Okay, I'm not your chicken. There's eggs have a near invisible coating called the bloom on the shell. It helps keep out air and bacteria. So as long as you don't wash your eggs, there you go. That's why. So they come out naturally that way.
So they're airtight as long as you don't.
But there's a thin layer over it, yes, that keeps them
That's
airtight.
fascinating.
So
So you're telling me Dan Hughes' eggs are covered in dung because he's in Britland?
it's not necessary that it's well, I mean, no.
It's out of the anus of a chicken. What else would it be covered in?
In Europe, eggs are unwashed and unrefrigerated. In Canada, U.S., they're washed and refrigerated. The coating on unwashed eggs keep the eggs from growing microorganisms. And so basically, they will go bad. They're just ones that have this bloom on them that keep them from going bad. So yeah, they're just
Bloom is
lightly.
a nice
Yeah,
way of saying
Europeans
it.
are lightly cleaned but not washed.
That is fascinating.
They have a layer of wax or a film that prevents bacteria from entering the egg.
That's just something natural that comes as it's like
Right.
pushing out of its chicken hole.
Right.
It's like
Yes. So there you go. There you go.
covered in this.
All right, so
chicken
we're
blood.
still talking about refrigeration, which would be a nice time to hard merge into the
Cryo.
game that we talked about, Cryo,
Cryo.
which is a game from last year or the year before. I can't
Published
recall.
by Z-Man,
Yes, Cryo is a game.
Tom Jolie, and Luke Laurie.
Jolene. Is that?
Are they both designers, or is that like a designer and an artist?
No. Anyways, Cryo is a game that came out
no,
that was quite
artist.
popular.
Cryo popular.
Please don't.
Designers Tom Jolie, Luke Laurie. Okay, I have to acknowledge the artists. Not Brian Boru should have been acknowledged as well, but I don't remember who they
I believe
were.
it was Beth Sobel.
Really?
Hang on a second. Don't quote me. Go ahead.
I will never quote you unless you're correct. I never ever quote you.
I keep talking.
No, this is an impregnated pause.
Well, you're pregnating too much. I'm looking. I'm going to have to look in the thing.
You're in a panic. You don't know what to do.
I'm not in a panic. I'm trying to get the box
so
open.
the artists for CRYO, Bree Linzo,
Good job.
Jasmine Radu, and Samuel R. Shimada.
I'm sorry. Deidre Debarra. Well, so Beth Sobel did the art on a game I played here recently, and I'm sorry I blanked on it.
Well, the art on the board.
Deidre Debarra? Deidre? How you say that?
I would say Deirdre.
Oh. I was
But
trying
anyway, Brian Burrow, fantastic art on the board. CRYO, though, the game we're talking about this week, this board is fantastic.
You really like the board, I
I
know.
freaking love
There's
this board.
not a lot on there.
Are you kidding me?
I mean, in terms of...
There's the 4 locations, the crash ships.
What I'm saying is that there's not a lot of...
The graphic art on the cards, as well as the
It's very...
the caverns.
very clear is what I'm saying. There's not a lot of...
But here's the thing. Oftentimes with games, they'll be very colorful. Mm-hmm. But in that color, it will be confusing.
Color, yes.
In this one, it's very colorful, but everything is well defined.
In contrast to this, the new game that came out, is it Space Moons or whatever, that space-based... Sky Mines, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Sky Mines.
Space
Awful.
Space Moons.
Yeah,
That's no moon. That was bad. It was very bad.
Yeah.
I did not like that. It was very confusing.
I didn't like looking at it.
Well, we stopped looking at it. CRYO is a game of a ship that has crashed on a planet that, much like in the 1998 film Pitch Black with your man Vin Diesel, when things get dark, bad things happen. Well, in CRYO, as the planet gets dark, the planet freezes. So you are using your own player board to operate drones to send them out to the various areas of the crashed ship to collect cryo chambers, which are the crew, and other resources to try to help get your crew underground to survive the night. And so as you're playing this game, you're simply taking these little drones, placing them out on the board, and collecting items. These various resources and items, such as food and nanites and research and things of that nature, are going to help you build the cards that you can collect, which the cards are multi-purpose, which are really good. They have 4 different uses on them, and it's very clear. You can play the card downward, and it has a mission on it, which are in-game victory points. You can scrap the card and get the few resources that are on it and use them now.
Free action.
Or you can use the power on top of it and make it as a power that you use throughout the rest of the game. It kind of helps the players kind of customize their board.
Power, yeah.
And then or you can use them as a ship, which you'll use to drill into the ground and get your crew underground. And so basically, it's kind of like a little bit of, not area control, but you're in each other's way the entire time. Everybody's drones are going out, covering up spaces, getting in people's way, and then you're recalling them to your board. And you can even design your board a little bit with these different little chits that will let you send in resources and convert them to other things while you're sending your crew underground to the various caverns and kind of area majority type thing. At the end of the game, however many people you saved, you get that many victory points. But also, the areas out on the board, things are blowing up, bad things are happening, you can screw over the other players. You can get your people out of one area, and then when you recall your drones back, you can choose to activate an incident in that area and kind of kill the other crew members, which is kind of cool.
I love the fact that the crew members are in these little tubes. They're like cryo tubes, I'm assuming. Cryo chambers.
They look like TARDISes.
They represent your crew. The crew may get blown off the board.
They die.
If your opponents want to be mean, they can sometimes claim something, but at the end of the game, when they're recovering their drones, they can claim a good or benefit on their board, or they can just blow the crap out of one of these chambers with everybody's crew in them.
It's very nice.
The artwork and components of this, we don't often cover this because it shouldn't really, the mechanisms of a game are what make it for us. Which the mechanism of the game, very simple. It's very worker placement. Very you place your workers, you choose what you want to do. But the interconnectivity of it's one of those games where it's like you need this, you need it. It's nothing new. There's nothing new in this game. I told Jerry it reminded me of Euphoria, but a superior Euphoria. The Euphoria game by Stonemaier Games, Jamie Stegmaier. If I remember correctly, you're converting this to this to this. You're converting that to this. So you're lots of conversions and then underground stuff. This to me is a better theme. It was a smoother game. The places you go to are very straightforward. There's not a whole lot of them, but you have to make these conversions. It's very tight, very concise, and then you've got to get your crew sent to these caverns underground. And that's where the majority of your points comes from, is going underground. That's where I failed at. But there's also your personal player board. It's got this double, what do they call it? The inlaid board.
Double layered
board. Fantastic component there. This game, we played Brian Boru last week. We talked about that. Jerry and Enrique, I personally preferred CRYO. Like, something about it, the feel of it, the theme of it. I'm super into sci-fi. I loved the theme of this game. It kind of, me and Jerry were joking. It reminded me of the Time Machine, where Guy Pearce goes into the future, and all these people are underground that come out all out. What is albino politically correct? I guess that's a proper
They're
term.
pigment lacking.
Pigment deficient.
Yeah.
And they're like white because they've been underground. Yeah. So you're sending all your people underground to prevent them from freezing to death in this cataclysm that's happening above the planet.
That Time Machine show bombed.
But it was so good.
Bombed. There was a lot of deleted scenes that they had on it. They tried to make it funny. There's one where they did that.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did. There were deleted scenes where they were underground and he finds those people, that he gets back in the time machine and he shows back up in another place, and there's more pale people, and there's like, oh no, I never left. And I'm like, no, this is Ireland. Take that, Irish. I'm 75% Irish, so I can make fun of the Irish. You, however, cannot bring up potatoes. Because I know you're about to. Because underground...
Irish in my blood, no doubt. Like everybody in
there. Just because you drink Jameson.
Does
not make you Irish.
I freaking love this.
Oh, boy. Freaking?
No, I'm saying the component... and I said it several times throughout. Not just... Okay. There's a whole nother discussion we're going to have in the near future about complexity with the aesthetics and...
We are? Should I prepare for this?
You should prepare.
Complexity?
Prepare yourself.
Where did you get this from?
Board Game Geek. There was a whole discussion.
Oh, well, send me the link.
I'll send it to you.
Oh, boy.
This game, we finished it in what? Not just your teach. I'd say teach, play, end of game. I feel like we were done in an hour and a half.
It advertises an hour.
Okay, so I would say an hour and a half.
I'd say an hour, yeah. It's pretty quick.
It's very swift. The drones are perfect. Your crew pods, the inlaid boards, the art on the main board, and the actions. Literally, there's 4 locations you can go to. Within those locations, a few different variety, but your board you can upgrade. I just loved it.
And you're trying to get down into that little den at the
so the stuff you do up top, you need to do that, but really you've got to get your people underground. I failed to do that for the most part, so I lost.
But I had all my people down there.
All your people were downstairs.
In the den. The fun den. The hee-hee. Get it? Den. I'm making that joke again.
Got you.
Gonna beat it to death.
Got you.
Just
beat it.
Michael Jackson.
Enrique?
Did you see what I did there?
Thoughts?
Michael Jackson.
Thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts and prayers?
Dennehy. Right, how many hee-hees?
Great, rate this. You?
Oh, am I rating?
You're rating it.
How many Brian Boru Dennehy's was this to you?
I'm going out on a limb here. I'm going to say it's another 10 out of 10.
You cannot do another 10 in a row.
Why not?
He can.
Well, if you want to, you can.
So these are both going to be in your top
for me,
5.
These were good.
These were good.
These were good. I can't.
Brian Dennehy good.
For me, I like tight games. I like hard games.
Yeah.
It's my weakness.
Okay.
I would say even last week with Brian Boru, even though we were learning the rules and I didn't know what I was doing, still the scoring, we were within 5 to 10 points of each other.
It's tight.
This game, we were within 5 to 10 points of each other.
It was tight.
I love the theme and the graphic art of this more than Brian Boru. But I would say the gameplay of Brian Boru for a more advanced board game player was...
I think CRYO will be a great addition for people who enjoy Euro games, but they kind of lean towards the Ameritrash They like a pretty solid theme. They like something that's a little easier, not as dry. I think CRYO kind of fits that bill. That kind of it transitions between the Euro gamer and the Ameritrash gamer. Whereas Brian Boru is probably a pretty solid Euro game.
Yeah.
And so that would be the two that I would say in connection with that. If you're a solid, really like dry Euros, Brian Boru, I'd say go for that first.
And I like the fact that there are two very different types of games, but we loved both of them. Brian Boru, a trick-taking, area control. CRYO, just pretty much a straight-up worker placement.
Engine building a little bit.
Engine building with your personal tableau builder.
Well, that just speaks to our good nature and our ability to occupy, different thoughts.
We accept a variety.
We accept
of games.
right. We're just good.
We're very inclusive.
We're
in our
snobbish,
gamings.
but yet we know a good game no matter what genre.
That's true.
A lot of people just like what they like. They're dry Euro people. They like old stodgy stuff.
There's some people that are like, oh, I only like Warhammer
Dirt
40K,
building.
minis,
Here's the thing. If you're a snob...
I'll play that, and I'll play this. I'll play checkers, I'll play chess, I'll play CRYO, I'll play Warhammer.
You will?
I've never played Warhammer.
You know, I'm about to say you don't play...
But I would play Warhammer. And I would love to play an RPG on a regular basis.
We're going to play an
We played
RPG.
Star
I want an
Wars.
RPG.
Did you get the 10 candles I sent you?
10
Yes.
candles.
Yes.
It's
The
an
vanilla
RPG.
ones and the goop one
Yes.
Gonna look
smells
that
really
up.
weird. You're talking about the RPG.
RPG.
I'm sorry. Thought you about the candles that you sent me
No, not the candles.
from my housewarming.
Wait, so you
RPG.
sent him an
So Ben
RPG?
Maddox told me to check out 10 Candles.
Who did?
It's an RPG. Ben Maddox of Five Things produced it.
Ben Maddox.
It's kind of a. I think he said it was a one-off, but anyway, you light 10 candles and you go through these different scenarios, and if a candle goes out, you go to the next thing. I'm very interested in playing it, mostly because of the atmosphere it provides. You literally can. They recommend you just light the 10 candles, and that's your light for the game.
That's weird.
And it's like post-apocalyptic, and you're fighting these monsters. I really want you to learn that, and then come in here.
I'll
and
light candles.
GM it for us.
I'll GM it for us.
Yeah, it's a good game.
Ooh.
I purchased it. I did the PDF.
Personal data file.
I forget the guy's name that makes the game, but it's like if you want the physical copy, well, it's going to take 2 or 3 months because that's not his full-time job. He's got a regular job.
You're going to have to send me the rule book.
I'll send
for
you the
that.
real book.
I really want to play that game RPG. We have played the Star Wars RPG that Jerry's created.
Yeah, I created it. It's called.
He created an RPG.
Yeah.
I wish he did.
It's called Fandor. It's
just people going on about their love for Jerry
and the Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we hope someday to play 10 Candles in a live episode.
It's an RPG about Star Wars fans trying to get together to play a Star Wars RPG. And so like, I got to take off my job. And, that's kind of very meta. It's
Could
very
we
meta.
actually do
Have
that?
you watched the last episode of Andor?
I just did, yes.
Now, this will come out 2 weeks or so after that's come out, but it's fantastic.
I watched it. It slaps.
Did you get kind of teary-eyed?
No, didn't. The reason I didn't get teary... Well, yeah, I did.
The
I
music.
did. I
the
did.
music.
Music's... I like the intro being so different, but here's the thing. And I'll spoil this for a little bit. I won't talk about specifics, but there is one thing that really did tear me up, pretty much. When the ISB lady, Deidre, she gets hit in the head with that rock and she falls down, she's like, oh no, I teared up a little bit. Because it's like, oh no, she about to get beat down. Because I really like, well, come up, I really like her. She's trying to keep the peace. She don't know no difference. She's trying to do her job. See what she gets knocked in the head. And then,
so you're pro-Empire.
I'm not pro-Empire. I'm just saying she was trying to. So, but here's the thing.
So at the end of Return of the Jedi, you're very upset and sad.
Well, it's like they
were keeping the peace.
They're trying their best. And did things get out of
You got
hand?
these hooligans running around.
Did things get out of hand? Yes. All right. But she gets knocked out, and the other dude, Cyril, he comes over there and saves her, and she's all.
I really thought they were finna kiss.
I was gonna bring that up.
I really thought
So
they were
here's the
finna
thing.
kiss.
That tension, whatever
It's a
that was,
non-sequitur to the end of this podcast.
that tension right there, where he's like staring at her and she's there. The look he was giving her was
He wanted to
weird.
kiss, yeah.
It's the look you give garlic bread. I mean, it was like some weird something.
I either want to kill you or kill
I didn't know what was going on there.
He's a strange.
He is a
strange.
He's the
character.
Enrique of the Star Wars universe.
But I can't take my eyes off of him.
He has a jawline that won't quit. I'm gonna tell you something right now. He's not. He's very. I don't know.
Attractively built. I mean,
He's dumb. I don't know with it. She's something else. She's got it together. She's very organized. She's like, she understands what it takes. She's got to get stuff done.
Okay, Deirdre or Mon Mothma? Who are you for?
Mon Mothma. Now look, I'm just going
Her marriage is in shambles. I don't approve.
I'm about to say,
lying.
Mon Mothma. She's got some problems. I mean, she got to get her act together.
Oh,
I mean, she's got banking issues, and she's blaming it on her husband. Like, I know you've been gambling. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Lies are abundant.
Yes, there's like a lot of stuff going on with Mon Mothma. There's some. It ain't family matters.
Okay, so is that her last name?
Mothma. Yeah.
What's her name?
Mom.
Mom.
I think it's a title.
She is the Mon Mothma.
Kind of like there's a what's the governor's called, a Moff. Yeah, Moff Gideon. There's Moffs.
Moff Tarkin.
I think a mom might be the gender.
Mon.
Mon. Well, maybe that's the gendered version of a Moff. She's the Mon, and there's the Moff.
Grand Moff Tarkin and Grand Mon
Marfma. Could be. Unfortunately, Mothma was just her last name, and she became a mom. Mon. You the Mon, and she's Mothma. And so that's how it happened. Like Darth, I grew up thinking it was Dark Vader.
Yeah,
but everybody thought Dark was it's Darth, because that means dad in Dutch, I think. Because we all know that Darth and the Dutch.
And Vader. No, Vader is also like fodder.
It's like fodder. I can't remember.
Vader is
it's also Dutch, isn't it?
It's something. It was one of those Nordic.
I think it's because Lucas knew that the Dutch were evil. I guess I don't know. Was that what he thought?
I'm looking it up
George.
right now.
Well, do you want me to do awkward silence, or do you want me to keep talking? How about I throw it over to Enrique?
Oh no!
Do you have anything interesting to say about Star Wars?
Anything about Star Wars?
Yeah.
I like how Enrique always just repeats the question.
It buys him time.
I have to.
Buys him time.
I have to buy myself time.
What do you mean, officer? Was I speeding?
Sir,
I was speeding?
We caught you speeding. Are you saying I was speeding?
That's what I like to do. I like to repeat everything to people. That way you kind of buy just a little bit of time.
Like, I have to. Because I'm not...
Where were you? Where were you?
Where was I?
Where was I?
Who knows?
See, that doesn't... You know where you were at.
Do I?
The name Vader was based upon the German-Dutch language word Vater.
The Dutch.
Or Vader, meaning father, making the name representative of a dark father.
What does a Darth mean?
I think it means dark, apparently.
Party on, Darth. Party on, Wayne.
Well, that's going to do it for this.
Are you cutting me off? I still had a lot to talk about Deidre.
Okay, go ahead.
Deidre was... No, I mean, I'll save it. I'm just saying, Andor's over. And it's like, it's going to be a while before we get our ISP.
Andorver.
And we got Mandalorian coming out.
Mandor.
That's going to be fun.
I think, it's like, yeah.
I look forward to the Okay, so do you prefer the Mandalorian style of Star Wars or the Andor style?
Andor's refreshing because it's different. And I like the way that they've done this story. I hope that they do more Star Wars. This is what I wanted.
And more.
Yeah. More Mothma. I want more Mothma. I want more Mothma. I want more.
Mucho Mothma.
What's going to happen is that there's going to be a scene where somebody's beating down Darth Vader because he's got to show up at some point in time in Andor. Mm-hmm. He's got to show up, and as they're beating him down or whatever, and he's going to say,
"Somebody's going to be beating down."
They've done it. He's beating somebody down, and they're like, "Oh, Mothma." It's like, "Hey, Mothma," like Martha, like Mothma.
That's my mother's
name. And then they'll go from there. Now, his mother's name was Shmi, which is awful because Shmi was the name of the first mate on Captain Hook. Shmi, remember the guy that was Mario? Yes. Shmi. Yes. And I hated that. Why did they do that?
Oh, poor Anakin's mother, Shmi.
She died, but she held on right so he could show up and then she could die in his arms.
He'd be angry in the sand.
That's what you should do.
It's like sand.
Hold on until I get.
The sand?
If you get
angry in the sand.
If you're about to die, hold on as long as you can until I get there, so you can die in my arms. Holdor.
Hodor just a little bit longer.
I would not be able to hold on to you while you died. I was like, you couldn't actually die in my arms because I couldn't hold you up, but I could stand next to you.
That's you're making fat jokes.
No, I'm just saying. No, I'm not making a fat joke.
Segued.
That was an indirect fat joke, and you know
you
it.
segued from Star
Maybe
Wars
I'm very
to
weak.
a fat joke.
No, maybe I'm very weak.
No, it was like a segue from Star Wars to Game of Thrones to a fat
Everybody
joke.
knows I'm not weak.
I'm not gonna lie, you should have saw it coming.
I'm just
I love how
saying.
your microphone has been like a 90-degree angle from your mouth.
But yet people
I know.
still hear him.
I don't know.
Because
You
I'm a
can
very
hear.
loud
On
person
Mothma.
when I want to be.
All right, so that's going to do it for this episode. Let's
Darth
see. This is going to
Dennehy.
come out, let's say, 1, 2. So it's a couple weeks after Andor concludes. So this will still be somewhat relevant. Won't date this podcast.
Lester
at all.
Michael Vanoy. If you hadn't watched it, he hadn't watched any of it, Harley.
Oh, well, spoiler alert.
Get caught up, Vanoy.
Is Andor airing for all our European and Australian friends?
Australians, I'm sure it is. I mean, they got Star
they
Wars
didn't
too.
see No Time to Die in time.
No. It was time to die. They were like, "What? You ruined that? You spoiled
is dead.
You spoiled that for all." How does it feel that
My
you
bad.
spoiled that for all the Southern
Dang
Hemisphere?
it, man.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for me. Thanks for listening.
Well, what about me?
Well, hold on.
Hold on.
Hold on.
All right.
You're
Rate
looking,
us on Apple Podcasts, 5 stars.
Oh,
Rate
God.
and review us.
Patreon.
Email
Don't
us.
forget
We're
the
going to do a
Patreon.
dear. We have not done our dear snobbies. We're going to do that on the
Who's
next
a
few
dear snob?
podcasts.
we're snobbies.
They're
if
people
you
who give us money.
If you even looked at your own Facebook group, you know what the dear snobbies
There's people
was.
who send us, yeah.
So instead of Dear Abby, a Dear Snobby is like, hey, I want to send you a question. It can be game related. It can be personal.
Enrique, you're giving out life
It can be
advice.
topical.
Topical. Something
We will
that you
try
put
to
on your
answer
body.
to the best of our ability.
I got some
like
topical,
some cream.
topical
Some creams and
advice.
lotions
I got
you
some
put on
cream.
your body.
I got some
And you'll feel better.
coconut oil based cream.
So send us your emails for any topical discussions
Topical.
or questions about
Typical.
gaming and/or life.
Send us Andor live.
or Star Wars, and we will answer them on the Board Game Snobs podcast.
Maybe.
At some point in time.
Perhaps.
Due to our recording schedule, it may take a while, but we will get to it. But now that Jerry is moved into
I'm housed.
his
I'm
home, you are
housed.
housed, and no longer will we hear, I'm still moving.
Yeah, you can't get these losers.
I'm going to take this Zoom device, and I will be at your door and in your house.
Andor.
I'm in your house. The phone call is coming from in your house.
I will find you.
The podcast is
And I
coming
will-
from in your house.
I will podcast with you.
And we will answer your
I have
dear
a certain
snobbies.
set of editing skills.
We have some questions from David Hamilton and
The
one other that I
David
cannot remember
Hamilton.
right offhand, and we will get to those.
You probably ask a
here
question
shortly.
why people don't remember my name.
Me and Mark answered one of his questions about a game we were disappointed in.
Who's Mark?
Basada of Board Game Barrage.
Oh, is he on?
That was 2 weeks ago with this
He was
board.
on the show?
Yeah.
Oh.
Thanks for listening. to
Kellen
your own
never
show.
comes on.
All right, that's going to do it for
We
this
gotta get
episode.
Kellen
Rate and
on the
review us on Apple. Give us 5 stars on Spotify. Email us your dear snobbies at boardgamesnobs@gmail.com. I'm Gabi.
This is Jerry.
This is
Thank you for tolerating this episode of the Board Game Snobs. Stay classy.